Mike Moore Media.
On our media line, Rodney Cates, Director of Rockingham County Emergency Services. Rodney, always good to have you on the program. Bring us up to the minute. What is the latest on Operation Christmas Cheer?
Well, Operation Christmas Cheer actually left this morning, transporting an entire truckload or trailer load of toys to the Burn Children's chapter for the North Carolina Burn Children's Society. And they deliver those to the Burn Center there in UNC Chapel Hill. Our fire marshals group heads that up, and they left this morning with several members of our volunteer fire departments throughout the county. They have a large enclosed trailer, and I can tell you from looking at it that trailer is stacked with boxes from front to back and top to bottom for toys for the children, but it also has a lot of things in there for adults. There are many. They call it the Burn Children's Foundation, but there are many adults there that are recovering from burns that they have had. So there's also many items in there that are for the adults. There's clothing items and things that the adults need. So certainly a wonderful effort that assists not only the children of that burn ward, but the adults that are there as well.
Oh, that's great. So it's all just left Rockingham County on the way to Chapel Hill.
That's correct. They left at 9 o'clock this morning, and several, fire departments in tow to assist, and it's just a great effort that it puts our entire community together. The fire departments put these collection boxes at their stations, and these toy and clothing collection boxes are put out throughout the county, and our fire marshals group is who puts those out and oversees that process, and they go back and collect them. Then they actually sort all of the goods by toys and puzzles and clothing items, and they box it up and label it for the staff at the Burn Center so that they can disperse it as needed. So it's a great community effort that assists many, many people.
It really is, and thanks to Melissa Joyce, Deputy Fire Marshal, and her team and everyone involved. This is how many years now? We haven't been doing it that long, have we?
I want to say this is the third year that we've done it. Mm-hmm. And I actually went with them the first year all the way to Chapel Hill, and to see the excitement, even on the staff face, when they see the staff of the Burn Center, when they see these toys and these goods roll in, and they know from their experience in dealing with these patients, the joy and the comfort that these things are going to bring to them. It's a very overwhelming and very emotional event to attend, and a great effort for everybody involved.
I'm sure it must be. And I understand the Burn Center there in Chapel Hill sees about 1,600 patients yearly. You know, this is a time of giving. We open our hearts, we share, and so thanks to all of the people in Rockingham County who went to those donation boxes and look at the good deed they've done and how that's going to help so many. That's wonderful, isn't it?
It is. It is great, and certainly speaks volumes of the community that we are a part of.
Mm-hmm. It certainly does. Okay. So, Operation Christmas Cheer, as we speak, that trailer load on the way to the Burn Center, North Carolina J.C. Burn Center, a children's unit in Chapel Hill. Thanks to everyone involved in that. Well, it is a time of the year when people put up all their decorations and Christmas trees and maybe some fire hazards and things we don't encounter, heating and all of that this time of the year. Maybe we could, again, go over some of those safety procedures we need to be aware of.
Yes, certainly. Those are some key things to talk about this time of year. And actually, our Deputy Fire Marshal, Melissa Joyce, has pushed some information out to our Public Information Officer, Rebecca Pigram, who has put those out on the county webpage for people to view. Things that talk about the drop cord safety that we talk about every year, making sure that those drop cords are sufficient to carry the current for the amount of decorations that are plugged into them. So many times we see these smaller drop cords. They're not sufficient to carry that load. They overheat and they start the fire. And then the live Christmas trees, they're beautiful in the houses and they smell wonderful, but they are a huge fire hazard. And the more they dry out, the greater fire hazard they become. So keeping those properly watered during the decorating time and the time that they're on display throughout the holidays. The space heaters that people use this time of year as it's getting colder, making sure that they're properly maintained, and that they have a proper distance away from any other flammable materials, such as those Christmas trees or those wrapped presents that they could certainly combust from. So many elements right now that we just need to be cautious of to make sure that we are as safe as we can be through this holiday season.
That's exactly right. I wanted to mention too, and those are a couple of things that we wanted to talk about, but I wanted to get your take too. People don't realize the training and all of the education and behind the scenes and everything that goes into Rockingham County Emergency Services and the fire departments and all of the things involved year round. When there is an emergency, that you folks are ready to hit the ground. And I'm thinking of the situation there with the power grids in Moore County. Just your input on that, Rodney.
Certainly we have emergency operations plans, and every county does. That's part of what we do. We put together, they're called EOPs, or emergency operation plans. We put those together and we review what do you do in these situations. And you can't forecast certainly these events that are going to go on, but you have the groundwork or the foundation ready for these events to occur. You don't expect them to be, I know there's the potential that the things in Moore County were purposefully done. So you certainly don't want that to happen. But if it does, the foundations are already laid to activate shelters, to have backup power sources for people, and to mitigate these circumstances as best you can. And those foundations are laid year after year after year, and they are reviewed year after year with just looking at shelters. We look at shelter teams. We look at American Red Cross. We look at, and we have these partnerships and we have these planning meetings. We look at the places that we have shelters, and these places are inspected and approved to be shelter locations. So there's a lot of groundwork that's in place that occurs on an annual basis that prepares us to mitigate these situations if and or when they occur.
So you're prepared, and that's comforting to know that everybody has things in place should that be needed. And I know you've mentioned this before. Where are those shelters? How many shelters do we have around the county?
We have about 14 shelter locations throughout the county. And again, the shelters that are activated are based upon where the event is occurring. If it's countywide, then we would activate shelters countywide. If it's something that we need one centralized shelter for everybody to come to in one central place, we do that. Another thing that has to be kept in mind when you activate shelters, there also has to be companion animal shelters that are activated as well, because companion animals are certainly a key component of the family element. So we have to look at where are we going to shelter those pets, and are they in the close proximity of where we are sheltering the individuals. So all of those things come into mind and come into play as to where we activate shelters and how we activate them. So, throughout the county, there's 11 to 14 shelters that are approved, and, we could activate any of those at any time.
Yeah, that could be weather-related situations and all of that. Yeah. Okay, so thanks to your team there for being prepared for us in an emergency. Anything else we wanted to mention today, Rodney?
No, just a lot of efforts going on right now, as we just talked about, to enhance everyone's safety. This is a busy time of year for travel. There's a busy time of year for people being together, and those decorations and the giving time that we are in, where these people are coming together to provide these gifts and these goods for the Burn Children's Foundation and all the other foundations. So it's just a great time. It's a busy time. It puts a lot of people on the road, a lot of people moving from place to place. So we just ask that people exercise caution, give yourself plenty of time to travel and make sure those vehicles are safe, make sure we're utilizing safe vehicle operation, proper following distance, and proper safety at home as we cook and as we prepare for this holiday season, so that everybody's able to enjoy the season to its fullest at all times.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Rodney, always good to talk to you. Happy holidays. Merry Christmas to you. I appreciate you and everyone and that's there for us here in Rockingham County when we need you. Thank you for that. We'll talk again in the new year.
All right, Mike. Take care. Have a good holiday.
You too, sir. Bye. That's Rodney Cage, Director of Rockingham County Emergency Services. That includes 911 and Fire Marshal's Office, so many different elements of that. You can get more information online right there at Rockingham, on the Rockingham County website, Facebook page, Rockingham County Emergency Services. Good information there. And I know Rodney and I have mentioned this from time to time, a great website to connect with, ncready.gov, ncready.gov.